I've been having this observation lately, and the theme of this is navigating towards my authentic self, and on a day-to-day basis, how much of my authentic self can I act within, activate, express, bring online, act in alignment to. And the authentic self is this interesting concept that I've just started to hear more and more, like that term, authentic self. My mom shared it with me, and I've been feeling this calling to just how do I move towards my authentic self, and what questions do I need to ask myself to probe at what is my authentic self, who is the most authentic version of Cam, how do I act, and so it's been coming up more and more. And some of the things I've been doing is I've been trying to play with like less tech, so taking periods where I just take all type of tech off and really strip myself down. I was even considering like just taking off, this like stuff and just getting bare, and then even like my laptop and whatnot, like just doing a lot of my thinking just on pen and paper. That's been one thing. But the reason I'm making this video is because of this pursuit and chase the most authentic version of myself. I've been asking myself, well, what are the things that have been stopping me or blocking me, or what do I feel day to day, week to week, month to month, my past, right now, do I feel is withholding me from operating in my authentic self, my highest self? And a number of things came up, and I want to make more videos on this just in general, but the lesson that is present for me right now is the social media, and specifically exposing yourself to so many different types of people in such a short period of time, especially if you're using the Explore page and you are, shuffling through people's accounts as you scroll reels, yada, yada. I don't know if we fully comprehend on the surface level, like on the conscious level, how many people we are exposing ourselves to. And then one step further is typically if it's the girl, we're like, oh my God, if it's a girl that you find attractive, you're like, oh my God, look at all these girls that are just so like amazing in terms of their looks, in terms of what they do. Like there's a ton of entrepreneurial women that are just kick ass. And then it has you feeling potentially as a guy worse off because of that, because you're like, oh my God, why don't I have a partner? Is it because I'm not good enough? Because look at these girls, oh my God. And reality, that's like survivorship biases. The only girls are seeing because the girls that don't post, there's plenty of them as well. They're just not posting. Now, and then on the other side, on the guy's side, you're then comparing yourself from a place of looks in terms of your physique, in terms of do they have money or not, what's their status, what's my status, what kind of money do I think they make, what kind of money do I make, how have they succeeded in business versus how have I succeeded in business or career, and all of these, and a lot of this is going unchecked on the conscious level. And what all of these calculations are running against how I'm comparing myself to this person and how I'm comparing this person to me in all these varying different capacities. And a lot of them are selective, is a good word, because you will look at one guy and you will compare yourself to him with a set of variables, but then you look at another guy and it'll be a different set of variables. And a lot of the time, depending on the context of why you're on social, etc., it tends to be that your brain is constantly being selective in the things that you don't have, because you're seeing what they have, and that is spotlighting what you don't have. So even if you have certain things with them, right? If you look at that person and if you have a six-pack, they have a six-pack, right? But then they have a better chest than you, let's say, to keep it physical. You will notice their chest, and you won't really give any weight to the fact that you both have a six-pack, he has a better chest, and quite frankly, you might even have better shoulders, but because you're seeing what's missing, because you're constantly comparing yourself onto someone, so the missing pieces will be more evident than the matching pieces, and even the things that you have that he doesn't, you're not looking for that, because we tend to have a negative bias on most things. And so on the guy side, it's such an interesting element as well. And then you start to combine the two. Anyways, so comparison and judgment. Now, once you recognize that, and once I've recognized that I'm doing that, and the fact that you are exposed to so many people at the highest level because of survivorship bias, like it is so easy. This is going back to the thing of why when we compare ourselves, we're looking for the reason as to why they're better than us, or why, whatever, especially beliefs, identity, yada, yada. Which makes it so easy for us to want to mold ourselves into what we aren't, because we're seeing that in the world of social media, in which we're now stopping ourselves from asking the question, who am I? Regardless of what they have. They can be the nicest person, the most jacked, yada yada, best guy, whatever, hottest girl, whatever. But that voids those are all voided when you just come back to the question, but who am I? Who are you at the fundamental core? What is your most authentic self? Because when you ask that question, guess what's not part of it? Who are they? Because when you ask who am I, you go inwards, and you are not in the external world now. You have who are you to others, and that is how you behave in the external world, and then how you behave will make some sort of response or feedback or effect, right? Every cause has a effect to it, back to you, but ultimately, who am I? It starts here. But the dangerous part is when you are comparing yourself to others, you are not asking yourself deeply, who am I? You're asking yourself, what do I have? What do I have? And in doing so, it is a static game, but then B, you are looking at them from a very static level as well. And if we continue to find ourselves in a place of lack, because it's a snapshot, you can't really go beyond that. So you're just looking at what's missing. Basically, you're comparing apples to apples when it's really apples to oranges on every single level. And then as a result of that, you feel bad. And so you're like, something's wrong with me because I'm not asking myself, who am I? It's what do I have compared to them? And so I'm constantly feel like I'm missing, and hence I'm going to go searching in the wrong directions because I'm comparing myself to someone else that you are not, and that you do not have their life. And it is apples to oranges, it is apples to the farthest thing possible. And so it is pointless to try to judge yourself in the falling short of to someone that you are not. Because you need to ask yourself, who am I? At the highest form, my authentic self, what could I look like? Who am I now? What do I have? Point blank, not what do I not have? Okay, that can be useful, but what do I not have? You could ask, what do I not like? That is one thing, but what do I not have? That is pointless, okay, for the most part. And the name of the game, because the whole thing I started here is chasing and working towards stepping in, engaging as my most authentic self. Ideally, more and more often, consistently, at higher levels, okay? Because I truly believe self-actualization is stepping into the most authentic version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, your eudaimon, your daimon, sorry. And by doing that, you have to remove who you are not. And who you are not are these little bits and pieces of data that gets added into your program through comparing yourself and looking at someone and be like, oh, I need to operate like that because he has that, I don't. Or, oh, that person's getting successful because of this, so I should do that. And again, there's time and place. I'm being very blunt here, but there is a time and place to get granular that you do follow people, but it is like very few people you should follow and take advice from at a deep enough level that you should seriously consider making changes about things on a level at such a foundation, which is your identity, which is who you are, how you think, okay? Because the whole lesson here, I realize, is when I downloaded my phone again, when I went on my phone and downloaded Instagram, I recognized how much I was actually comparing myself to men and how much I was not fantasizing, but just being exposed to having a life partner already and having my wife in the picture, etc. And it makes me feel less of because I don't. And then I'm seeing so many great women. And so I was feeling when I was watching this stuff, I was more influenced day to day, even in the micro, about how I should act, what things I should focus on, what's important in my business, what's important in my life, what is valuable versus what is not. And I was kind of judging my value. I was judging my value and my worth and my way of being off of how someone else lives as a scorecard, if you will. And so I was taking my life and I was saying, well, what is it? What value is this worth based off of what other people have? And I recognized that today, and I was like, wow, I'm in a losing game. If I try to play that game for the rest of my life, and again, I don't do this at a extreme level, but I definitely fall victim to, not even victim to this because it's my doing, but I am falling prey to it, okay? I am falling prey to it, that's a better way to put it. To the idea of when I am on social media and I'm scrolling around, yada yada, because I get caught with it, because I am not by no means exempt from this shit. It's too fucking powerful. I find myself in that place. Anyways, I'm just gonna wrap it up here because I've been rambling. But this topic is really important, and I need to make a more refined video. But I was just outside, and I had this thought, and I just started riffing. I'm realizing for a good amount of time. So that said, I am committing to continue having Instagram off of my phone and only bring it on when I need to post and when I need to DM people, because the more I'm off it, the more authentic I feel in my way of being, and allow my own ideas and energy to flow through me more consistently, more effortlessly, because when I'm watching the content and when I'm on social, it stifles it, because I'm not only how your brain is reacting, I think that is a big one, the focus thing and splitting, but the comparison piece, you're stifling, you're almost like paralyzing yourself, because I am judging myself, and this is where I kind of got lost. I am judging myself against someone else's way of life, and that is a losing battle for the rest of time. Well, I'm gonna finish the video here because that's 2 in a row and that's crazy.